It's always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Lusaka.
Gold FM is Nandi's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singatoka.
Old is gold, and Gold FM is #1 here in Lusaka.
Singatoka loves classic hits on Gold FM.
We listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Ba.
We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki Raki.
Lusaka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, dengue cases at more than 15,000. International Forestry promotes conservation, and Survivor recalls the struggles of Malaya campaign. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Another 4 deaths possibly related to dengue fever are being investigated by the Health Ministry. This comes as increased cases are reported from the Northern and Eastern divisions. As Ritika Pratap reports, the Health Ministry has changed its method for diagnosing dengue cases.
15,446 Fijians are suspected of having dengue. 4,087 were recorded just this week.
There's a surge also in the Western Division, particularly in Lautoka, Ba, Nandronga, Navosa, and also Nandi. This dengue outbreak has also moved on to the north. They're experiencing a surge in Lambasa and the Kaunrove, and it is anticipated that it will also move to the Eastern Division Island.
It's hard to stop people moving around, but the ministry suggests those who are already infected can take precautions to prevent the spread of dengue.
Because it's only when the mosquito picks up infected blood from these infected people, individuals, that they can transmit it. So we'd like them to have some element of restriction within their homes, and that they rest, that they be under mosquito nets at certain times of the day, at least in the morning and dawn and dusk. And perhaps they can be the ones that have repellents, so that they don't get bitten by the mosquito.
The real problem is that most of us are turning a blind eye on the warnings. This is adding to the epidemic.
So we're asking you, protect yourself, work with us, clean up your compounds, let us reduce the vector, let us reduce the breeding sites to be able to contain it. And the main reason we haven't been able to get a grip on this is because people are not adhering to what Ministry of Health has been saying to everyone out there in the public.
And if you think you can get away scot-free, think again. Authorities are taking legal action against companies that have ignored cleanup advisories.
We have more than 35, 7 in the west, 15 in the north, and over 20 in the central division, which includes 17 in Suva that they are trying to pursue further because of the non-compliance of the notice that is being seen for some of the companies that are there in the various divisions.
12 people have died from dengue, but the ministry suspects another 4 related deaths. The youngest victim is a 2.5-month-old baby. Today, the Australian government donated $1.2 million to help fight the epidemic. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Fijians have been urged to think seriously about the importance of forests to their well-being and national development. On International Forest Day, Mika Longa reports, people have been reminded of the vital role forests play in our lives.
Hundreds flocked to Thurston Gardens in Suva to mark this year's International Forests Day. Fiji chose the theme, Celebrate Our Forests, Restore, Improve, Sustain and Enhance.
Trees and forests are to be loved, protected, nurtured and enhanced for what they are, and celebrated for all that they had to freely offer.
The importance of forests in our lives cannot be stressed more. The enormous supply of clean air, water and food is in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
The ecosystem services that forests provide are always taken for granted and is always totally absent from our national accounting books. And if we try to value it, the figures can really be enormous.
To mark this day a meaningful one, Fijians are being urged to plant a tree.
I feel good for planting a tree today. It makes me like I want to plant some trees at home.
When you plant trees, you'll reduce carbon dioxide.
I feel good and also kind of excited to plant more trees.
I wish this tree would grow and support life.
These are food seed sources, and we will come back here someday and pick seeds from here.
I'll just show you Various ministries and NGOs handed out posters, books and other materials to school children and Fijians who also joined in the celebrations.
Especially to us young students, that tree is the most source of life in Fiji.
Has an 8-year life cycle. What we find on this table are just some examples of endemic species or species that we only find in Fiji, from our second largest beetle in the world.
Inia Sureratu is pleading to the nation to rise, restore, improve, sustain and enhance our forestry systems.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to work together. Working together in collaboration is the key to addressing forest-related issues and associated with land tenure and forest ownership.
The large turnout today shows the importance of our ecosystems. Therefore, we are all asked to support efforts towards the protection and sustainability of our forests. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Today is World Down Syndrome Day, a genetic condition that results in growth impairment and mental disability. This year's theme is Health and Well-being Access and Equality for All. Chanel Sivan reports.
These kids have been diagnosed with Down syndrome and need special care for the rest of their lives. Management and teachers at the Hilton Early Intervention Center in Suva held events to mark the Global Awareness Day, also observed by the United Nations.
Down syndrome students are special students. The parents have to take care of them all the time and look after them, and the parents would be educated here how to look after their Down syndrome child. And this is very important that all the stakeholders take care of those things.
In humans, each cell normally contains 23 pairs of chromosomes, but these special children have one extra chromosome in their DNA. This is called Down syndrome. Children who are diagnosed from this syndrome are often found to have special talents or skills.
We have been educating parents how to look after their children, and also they have been advised by the specialist teachers here in early intervention school and other schools, special schools, how to look after them. And parents interact with the teachers here so that they know how to go about doing that.
Many Fijians do not know what Down syndrome is.
There are 40 students at the Hilton Early Intervention Center diagnosed with Down syndrome. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Old Town Tower में it's only Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
ताकि हर घर में खाली मिर्ची FM बजे. मिर्ची FM it's hot.
Best sound, best music, Mirchi FM rocks and records.
Nani का #1 station है Mirchi FM.
Mirchi FM is hot. Mirchi FM it's #1 in nursery.
मिर्ची FM is hot. हम लोग मिर्ची FM रोज सुनता है. मिर्ची FM जागो मामा. मिर्ची FM it's hot.
देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2 is #1 in Singatoka.
मैं लंबासा के निवासी, मेरा नाम प्रेम चंद्रा है। देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2 को मेरा सलाम।
नैनी में देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2।
रेडियो PG2 में देश की धड़कन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
रेडियो PG2 is #1 in Singatoka।
नैनी में मेरा धड़कन है रेडियो PG2।
हम ननुपुर की रहता है और हम रेडियो PG2 हरदम सुनता है।
हमें रेडियो PG2 सुनो बहुत अच्छा लगे, आप भी रेडियो PG2 सुनो।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2।
Welcome back. This is FBC News. 62 years ago, some 1,600 Fijian troops left our shores to fight in the dense jungles of Malaya. The journey, struggles and sacrifice by the troops, seen through the eyes of one of those brave men, has been brought to life in the pages of an autobiography by one of the few that survived the brutal conflict, Manu Korvulavula. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
He was only 17 years old when he was enlisted at the Nasese camp in October 1951, and within months, Manu Korvulavula was in Malaya helping to fight a bloody guerrilla uprising with our Fijian troops.
Why did they go? What was the cost? Why did it have to do with Fiji? Why were Fijian lives sacrificed in the Malayan campaign? The answers are in the pages of these books.
This autobiography, I hope, will immortalize forever into our national psyche the selfless contribution that our young men in uniform have made and continue to make in furthering our image as a peace-loving people.
The autobiography, titled Walamai Malaya and its English translation Malayan Campaign, records Manu Korobulubula's enlistment with the Fiji Battalion 1st Infantry Regiment and the regiment's outstanding service alongside British troops during the 4.5 years of the Malayan Campaign.
It's a recording of history that is very, very important for us in the near future, for our current and future generation to know what our forefathers did.
A former civil servant says Fiji's participation was recognized the world over.
I reaped the reward for it. When I went to Malaysia, I went there 3 times already, and I'm respected, and this is one of the greatest achievements for the Fijian like me.
The book is dedicated to Manu's late father, Major Israeli Ngerea Korobulubula, and his late younger brother, Warrant Officer Class 2 Nadhani Naraworo Korobulubula.
My father, Major Israeli Ngerea Korobulubula, was reluctant to let me join him on this campaign. I was underaged and was the progeny. The thought of our collective demise in the jungle of Malaya must have weighed heavily in his mind. When my younger brother Nadhani joined us, it would have been the end of his lineage. By the grace of God, we all returned safely home.
The book, which is available in Itaukei and English, are available in local bookstores. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Sports now, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Good evening. Coming up, an update from the Fiji 7 side as it prepares for its first pool game tomorrow, and Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association pulls back on its policy for qualifying times. Details coming up.
Today FM is awesome in Ba. We love you, Today FM.
Today FM rocks in the story, and I love listening to Today FM.
Today FM is #1 in Telev.
Today FM rocks in Lotaka. Woohoo!
Today FM is the most popular station in Nasina.
We love everything about Today FM here at Golden Point Reki Reki.
Everybody in Singapore loves Today FM.
Today FM rocks in Ba.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Bulan 2 saya Tolu FM, enapan 2 Raki-Raki.
Bula FM namban 2 in Nosor.
Go etapo ke boto kola sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM namban 2 Korbu.
Bula FM namban 2 Sawa.
Bula FM namban 2 Lotoka. Bula.
Namban 2 nang Bula FM memba.
Bula FM
namban 2 NSR in Singapore.
Kalau tali tak ada warung nang Bula FM Lotoka.
Ali akar warung Bula FM namban 2 NSR.
Bula FM namban 2 NSR.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The New Zealand 7 side rates the Vodafone Fiji team as one of the prime contenders of the IRB World 7 Series crown. Fiji is currently on 73 points and third on the World Series points table, 26 points behind the Kiwis, while South Africa is second on 97. All Black 7 skipper DJ Forbes says there is no predicting what Fiji is capable of during any tournament.
Fiji on their day could easily win, 4 tournaments in a row, and obviously in order for them to get back on the horse they need to win these 2. So we're definitely not taking anything for granted. We know that South Africa's right on our heels, and I think the beauty for us was to finally get the monkey off our back. They've beaten us in a couple of finals this year, so to win at home and to win against them convincingly was definitely pleasing, and hopefully coming into this tournament there won't be their mindset. The boys have done the job once, so if we get another opportunity, hopefully we can do it again. But in saying that, it's our just focusing on our pool games and doing first things first.
Meanwhile, Springbok 7's mentor Neil Powell says no team is yet guaranteed the series title.
Yeah, definitely. Fiji is a great team, and even England is playing good rugby. So
I think between the four of us, anyone can still make it and win the series. If any one of ourselves or New Zealand slip up in one of the tournaments, then obviously they're going to have a chance to come back and take the series. So I think it's important for us to tick that consistency box of us that says that we at least want to reach the semi-finals.
The inclusion of Fijian Virimi Vakatawa in the France side will boost the Blues at the Japan Sevens this weekend. Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan says while it was Fiji's loss to have Vakatawa play for France, the national team needs to stay focused.
You know, wish him the best of luck. He's going to be a handful to play against. He's a very big, strong, quick winger. You know, it's, hopefully in the future we'll see many more Fijians playing international rugby with Fiji rather than join other international teams.
Fiji plays France at 1 p.m. tomorrow. The Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association has decided to relax its policy on the qualifying times for the Coca-Cola Games. This comes after some zones voiced their concerns about the strict qualification times that would have rendered top athletes unable to meet the Games criteria. Chalenda Dakadaka has more.
Coca-Cola Amatil has extended its sponsorship for the National Games, pumping in over $760,000 for the next 5 years.
It is a very incredible honour for me to renew our association and support for the Coca-Cola Games, extending our 41-year relationship another 5 years with the Fijian Secondary School Athletics.
But it's the issue of the qualification standard that most schools will be focused on. The new rule, which was to have come into place, would have seen the qualifying times limiting the athletes. Only 6 zones out of the 17 in the country have opted for this new rule.
Which means that these are the only zones that are allowed to bring in more than 2 athletes in any one event. If all those that qualify in that particular event should come. Now, the other zones that opted for the old system will bring only two athletes per event, only the first 2 place getters. So that's where we are now.
The athletic season is now well underway with the Nandi and Lautoka zones having their meet yesterday. Organizers are looking forward to hosting another successful games at the National Athletics Finals on the 25th and 26th of next month. Chalendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Postponing Athletics Fiji's annual general meeting has pushed the athletics fraternity to the wire. Its parent body, the IAAF, appointed a mediator to resolve an administrative feud, but with no resolution to date, the AGM must take place by March 30th, or Athletics Fiji faces being suspended by international bodies. Elena MacDonald looks at how Athletics Fiji got into this mess.
Last year, Athletics Fiji club members made allegations of poor governance against its president Albert Miller. A vote of no confidence was enforced and taken at an executive committee meeting, but he refused to step down, which resulted in a power play against Dr. Ayodi Alakija. Moving forward, legal advice was sought.
I'm known for doing pro bono work, so I attended a meeting in the middle of October 2013 and took a look at all of the documents and advised them that the 2010 constitution that they had been operating under for 2 years was invalid because it hadn't been properly adopted by an AGM.
The 2008 constitution was deemed the legal document because it was the last properly adopted constitution. The rift deepened when a special general meeting was called in January.
Instead, what they'd done was taken a draft, presented it as an SGM, and had it passed there. Now, it may seem like a small difference, but actually in legal terms it makes a huge difference as to the validity of a document.
In light of the well-being of athletes, the Fiji Sports Commission obtained a legal opinion which supported the previous findings. Dr. Robin Mitchell was then brought in as a peacemaker between the two factions to allow for a smooth running into the AGM, which is the ultimate authority. Athletics Fiji's AGM will be held on March 29th in the West, 1 day before the deadline as stipulated under the 2008 Constitution. Simply put, if the AGM does not happen, the Athletics Fiji fraternity stands to lose everything, and all they'll be left to do is face the consequences of their own actions. Elena MacDonald, FBC Sports.
The FBC Suva Volleyball Association today received a major boost from Digicel Fiji. Digicel will contribute $700 per week for the next 3 years to run weekly games. Suva officials say this will help in the development of grassroots level volleyball, with plans also in place for Northern Tour. This sponsorship comes into effect from tomorrow. That's it from Sports Tonight. I'll be back again on Monday. Until then, have yourselves a safe weekend. Good evening.
Plans are now underway to establish the Fiji-Vanuatu Business Council, says Fiji's non-resident High Commissioner to Vanuatu, Romano Tikotikodha. Tikotikodha says Fiji's growing relations with Melanesian neighbours has prompted the Fijian government to look into establishing a council that will foster trade between Fiji and Vanuatu. He adds the establishment of the Business Council augurs well with the Melanesian Spearhead Group's vision to increase regional trade. Jen, the weekend's upon us. Good news, please.
I'll see what I can do, Jackie. Today got off to a good start with everyone enjoying nice sunny conditions this morning. But that later changed to partly cloudy and showers in the afternoon. So, what is partly cloudy? Well, in a forecast, this means that less than half of the day will be cloudy. For a current condition, this means that less than half of the sky is covered by clouds. Temperatures are all in the 30s again. Savu moves up from 29 yesterday to 30 degrees today. Neighbor Lambasa was the hottest at 34. Tomorrow sees fine weather to get your Saturday off to a great start before the brief showers set in over the eastern and interior parts of the larger islands. And now for our last photo this week. Quite interesting, this one. A full moon between two palm trees. And that's it from us this week. Well, from me anyway. Until Monday, stay safe and have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. Our main stories again. More than 15,000 dengue cases and more deaths suspected. International Forestry Day promotes conservation, and Survivor recalls the struggles of Malaya campaign. On to our poll question, we're asking, should Fiji rejoin the Commonwealth if given the chance? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. Be sure to join Amrita Pradashni tomorrow evening. I'll be back again on Monday. Until then, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Ni Modamanta.
Talita na radio Fiji One na mwirani nondo konoa.
Ando talita kana borrongo na radio Fiji One singa toka mboleta ni station ni Alumatua.
Ando talita kabale una borrongo na radio Fiji One station ni Alumatua ilo toka.
Ando talita kabale una borrongo na radio Fiji One mandi na station ni Alumatua.
Au tungo korbo ando borrongo leva na station ni Alumatua na radio Fiji One.
Ando borrongo na radio Fiji One na station ni Alumatua na mandoi tele.
Na radio Fiji One nando moi bitin bonga ni bienani.